You're watching The Whole Living Show on Trajectory TV.
Without truth, freedom doesn't exist. My soul has always been based on the principles of freedom, which is getting to the core or truth of an issue. Choosing the name Radical Press embodies me. When you look at the etymology of the word radical, it's about getting to the root of shit, derived from the Latin word radix, which literally means root. Press is the medium in which we use. Press can be in print, video, voice, or any type of media that gets information to the people. Radical Press magazine is about bringing truthful information and real knowledge to the people through a different lens.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Whole Living Show. And we have a treat for you tonight right before Thanksgiving. But before I bring my beautiful guest in, I want to talk about Thanksgiving. I want to know what everybody out there is grateful for. And I want to know, what are some of your favorite and best Thanksgiving holiday memories? So I'm going to tell you mine. Right. And I'm grateful for everything. I don't know. You guys know I do 2 shows. We were on Femme Talk last night. We did this whole moist maker sandwich thing. It was amazing. So that's part of some of my good memories, because we just had fun doing it and everybody did their own ingredients. And of course, mine were erring on the side of a little bit healthier than you would see normally at a Thanksgiving dinner. But I'm just grateful just to really be alive, to have the family that I have, to be surrounded by love and joy. I just came off of a vacation with a group of 9 amazing friends, and we had the best time ever. So I'm still like thinking about that vacation and ready for the next one, to be honest. But I'm just so grateful to be surrounded by so much love. My mom is here. Me, her, and my son are getting on the road tomorrow, going down to be with other family members for Thanksgiving. So that's what Thanksgiving is all about. And we should be grateful every day. And as I was saying last night, we should be, kind of looking at our lives on a daily basis and saying what we're grateful for each and every day. And I guarantee you it'll start to change your life too when you start to mention the things that you're grateful for. And I would say them out loud, write them down, and think about, how good life is, right? Even with all of the challenges, there are things that happen, but there's something to be learned from everything that happens in your life. There's something that you're supposed to get from it, or it could be catapulting you to your next level, whatever that means for you in particular. So just be grateful for it all, because I guarantee your life will change once you start to change the mindset around everything that's happening in your life every day. So I want to mention some of the memories around Thanksgiving. My family is a gathering family. So I just love to be around the table, around all of the food, and just having fun. We laugh, we joke, we play games. That's what it's all about to me, because that's where we come together and we just enjoy each other and have some good, clean fun. There's drinking and food and games and just talking about the past, or talking about family members that have passed on, and just remembering the good times with them as well. So it feels good to just come together on Thanksgiving. And I will challenge you out there, for everybody out there, I know life is busy. We all have so much that we do on a regular basis. But when you think about it, and if you can pull your family together more often than just on Thanksgiving or Christmas around the holiday time, do that. Come together around some good food and, play games and have some laughter and just enjoy each other's company, because we never know, when we won't be here on this side, right, anymore. But, just enjoy people, give people their flowers while they're living, and enjoy them while you're all here. So that's it, everybody. Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but I have the best couple, one of my favorite couples now. I absolutely love them. And if you guys caught the replay, I don't even think they know this. And I didn't mention it backstage, but I did play the replay of their last show last week, because they are amazing. And we talked about relationships and how they really changed their own relationship, changed their mindsets individually and together, and changed their relationship through all the challenges that they went through in life. But what they shared with me last time that they were here is that they're transitioning their life to a holistic, vegan, healthy lifestyle from so many different perspectives. So we're going to get into that, because as we go into Thanksgiving and we think about all the things that we're going to eat and all the things that are going to be in our environment, this couple is going to help you start to change that. And if you don't do it tomorrow, because we know it's Thanksgiving and I'm sure you already have most things prepared. So if we don't do it tomorrow, think about all the tools that they're sharing with you as we go through the show, for you to be able to change some things in your household, for you and your family to live as healthy as possible. So I'm going to bring in the beautiful Osinga couple. We have Chad and Linnell here with us again.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
So I have to say, I know we're not talking about relationships tonight, but I can see you guys backstage, right, while I'm here and while I'm talking, and just, the communication, like I could see them going back and forth and smiling at each other. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just love the way you interact with each other. It's just beautiful. And I couldn't hear the words, of course, but it's just seeing it, it's just amazing.
Thank you. It's ongoing friendship. That's what we call it. It really is. It's ongoing. Been friends since I was 14. He was 16. We are now in our 40s. And, that's the one thing that always said to him, like, no matter what, through all the hard times, like, I cannot lose you as my friend, because we've been through so much, and he's always been there for me. Even when we weren't together, we were just friends, he had been there for me. And then when he was going through stuff, I had been there for him. So no matter what, even when we were in the worst part of our marriage, when we were at the worst part, we still called each other like, look, this is what's going on. I know we're not cool right now, but I need to talk to you. So our friendship is really important. I can laugh with him. I can cry with him. I can joke with him. We were talking earlier about, like, I can tell tea with him. Like, I'm like, yo, let me tell you real quick. Like, like, he's my go-to about everything. So I'm just grateful, that we have this bond that we have. So
yeah, he's your lobster. I don't know if you ever watch Friends, right? But they say that lobsters mate for life, right?
that's right.
They always say that about couples, like, he's your lobster. He is
my lobster. See,
Yeah.
I normally, look, to be honest, I normally don't bring up friends, what I'm saying, to be honest, to too many Black people, because, I they don't really know friends like that.
Well, we're cousins, so I'm gonna give you a
That's
high
right.
five.
So you get it?
I get it, because I love that show.
Me too.
Which is how we came up with it. We did a moist maker sandwich challenge last night. That's how we came up with it, because of Friends.
Yes, you guys get it. I love it.
she loves that.
So
I do love that show. I got my kids hooked to that. Well, my older two kids, I got them hooked to that show.
Got that whole was it the series of
Oh,
all
yeah.
the episode?
yeah.
We got it all.
I was so dedicated that I was like, but like when you're going through having like the birth, I remember my plan was like, okay, Friends comes on at 7:00.
Mhm.
So like whatever happens at 7:00, the TV need to be on so I can watch Friends. And my doctor was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Don't play with me." And she was like, my mom was over there like, she not playing. Like 7:00, that TV need to be on so she could watch. And my son was born at 7:05 and Friends was playing. Okay.
That's hilarious.
So let's get to this though.
Yes. So listen, I want to, since we were talking about the moist maker sandwich, I want to ask you guys how, now that you've transitioned, how would you do your moist maker sandwich now?
Oh, Chad. Oh my God.
I don't even know what that is. I'll be honest.
Chad. Okay. To be honest, Chad actually only eats sandwiches now. He eats like maybe twice a day.
Once or twice.
Really kind of like once a day. He went on this challenge where he went from 3 meals to then let me try 2 meals and then let me go down to like 30 days of 1 meal and see can I do it. And he was so faithful and consistent in it that he was like, you know what, it's not really hurting me. Like I don't have a desire to eat a second meal as long as he eats enough in the first meal.
So I have a question with that. So are you counting your calories with that 1 meal per day?
Oh no,
I've never. Everything is plant based except for the bread that I would use, and so I usually it's potatoes,
it's
onions,
like potatoes,
carrots,
asparagus, cucumbers,
tomato, and then either lettuce or spinach leaf. My favorite is spinach leaf. And so, a lot of garlic. I like a lot of garlic. So I chop up the garlic and I saute all of that. And then I usually have like 1 slice of bread, with all of that. And so it's not even a full sandwich. And I just eat a big bowl of that and I'm good to go. And yeah.
And when I say like, the thing is, he's tried like Ezekiel bread. He's done, just like all wheat bread, grain, rye. He's tried them all. And then they all still had some form of sugar in them. So that was the big thing for Chad, is to cut as much sugar as possible. All sugar.
Unless it's natural.
And it helped because the month of, was it June or July? I made us do the carnivore diet. It was one of those months over the summer. I heard about the carnivore diet, but I had thought about the carnivore diet because I heard all the benefits in your body, health-wise, what it was doing. People were like being cured of different diseases, and they just saw like rashes go away, and all these different things that were happening to their body, that they were like, they tried just eating meat, and they noticed a shift in their health. And so I was like, babe, with his accident he had and all his injuries, I was like, let's try. So we did, and we realized that he was like, I really don't need sugar. I don't need sugar, so I don't think I'm going to implement it back into my eating habits. So I was like, okay, and it helped him. But then we noticed that, man, sugar is in everything. It's in the seasonings. It's in basically all your bread. It's in every drink. And every time that they say, oh no, it's sugar free, it's not, because there's some form of like a sugar substitute that's in it. And then if you look at the side effects of what those do, the substitutes, it's even worse than just regular sugar.
Yeah, so, it's mind-boggling, right?
It is.
Yeah.
So he just decided, it was like, you know what, Linnell, I'm just going to stick with just eating vegetables and only vegetables. And then he went to sourdough bread, because sourdough bread was the only bread that didn't have sugar in it.
Wow.
And so he went to sourdough bread, and then it
tastes really good.
I love it.
He loves bread.
I'm a bready, right? So I love bread, and that was the one thing that I wasn't willing to, I guess, give up to be called a full-fledged vegan or whatever. I didn't know there was like categories to all of this stuff. We us humans, man, we put labels on everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, we do.
But I love my vegetables, and that's all. I don't count calories, but I also don't add anything with it. So it's I put red pepper in there for my inflammation, olive oil, and yeah, that's the only outside things that go into my food. I don't even put pepper like that, so I don't add all of these things. So I don't think to count calories or do anything like that. And then with only eating once, maybe twice, I don't think I have enough intake to really worry about that.
I know he
So
doesn't, because I think he's lost, I want to say
I have.
15 pounds. I think like 15 pounds within like a month and a half. Yeah.
Wow.
But look, I go through a lot of injuries, or I have gone through a lot of injuries. And so pain and inflammation, and I am the healthiest I've ever been. Yeah, I still have, I'm not going to, tell a tale of, there's all the pain is gone, but it's reduced quite a bit. And so, the results of eating like this and living like this, I get a higher quality life. And for me, that's just what it's about,
Yeah. And I mean, if I had a bell, I would ring it ding, 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 ding on that one. Because you just said the higher quality life, right? And unfortunately, most people don't identify with that part of it, right? Like, because they just feel like they can't stop or they can't avoid the things that you're mentioning, like sugar being a big one, right?
Right.
So they just go with it because it's the norm and it's what's included in everything. And they're like, just even if I try to be healthy, right, they still get some form of it and they don't take it to the extent that you have. And I think that's amazing because you've done what you said, like reduced inflammation, which is a big one, right? Like I'm
Yes, it is.
like clearing my throat right now, and that's inflammation, right? That's all it is. So I love that you said that. So I wanted to ask you about that though, because you're doing and when you hear, the nutritionist or the fitness experts, or they always say, you got to count the calories, right? And you need enough to burn, right? So like when it comes to all of that, where do you feel like you fall? Like, how are you measuring it for yourself? And again, this is a label, but how are you measuring it for yourself?
I think you just listen to your body,
Yeah.
I think that we got away from that, Yeah, there's experts and every condition's a little different. You might need to count calories for whatever, your body's going through. But for me, my body tells me when it needs to eat. I eat what has really empowered my healing and my ability to live a good life. And I think Linnell's starting to adopt, or she has adopted the same thing. And we just listen to our body. If my body's telling me I'm hungry, then I'll eat, if I need something sweet, sometimes we have these cravings, then you get natural things, apples, bananas, and you would be surprised how it quenches that thirst to have that sugar, that sweet thing. And then you're good. And you go about, and I like how you said how we settle. It's like there's this illusion that society has placed, and the only people that we're helping are these billion-dollar companies that don't care about our health. And we're living in this illusion that they created for us, that we have to eat these sweets and we have to have coffee. Like, I thought I had to have coffee. Okay. It's been 4 months?
Yep.
4 months since I've had a drop of coffee.
So proud of him.
Right. I drink water, and if you are always comparing your life to somebody else's, then you start having these urges to be like this or eat this or drink this and try to rationalize with your mind. But when you start listening to yourself and you live within those limits, it becomes a lot easier. Like, this works for me. You want to eat that, drink that, do that, cool, right? That's on you. But our society is paying a really high price for listening and living in this illusion that they've created.
I love that you said listen to your body, right? Because the body leaves clues, and everybody's situations and bodies are not the same. So if you really start to understand, how your own body operates and what clues your body starts to leave, like, I'm just giving you the, because it's clear right now that I'm inflamed in my throat, but just that's an indication for me that, okay, I'm doing something that I shouldn't, and I need to change it. And I know that, right? So I'm now like, okay, I got to switch some things up because I've been eating some things that I shouldn't. Is chicken. I'm just going to be transparent on the show, you guys, because that's just what it
You
is
just
for
came
me.
from Jamaica, you know, saying some curry chicken. I get it.
And, right, exactly. And I said before I went there, I'm like, I'm gonna OD on jerk chicken. And I made that choice for myself. So I did, but now I'm paying for it, right?
Right.
So
No.
now I'm like, okay, I gotta cut it out. And I just made myself a vegan meal this evening, right? So it's time to cut it out. But you have to listen to what's happening. Most people don't, they just take that stuff for granted. It's like, oh, it's normal. You know what I mean? And they let those things slide, but it's not normal.
Right.
No,
It's not.
I haven't been sick in
I know
3
we have not been.
years,
Yeah, we have not had a cold. We haven't had the
something
flu.
like
We
that.
have none of that in 3 years.
2 or
That's
3.
awesome.
Yeah.
2 or 3 years.
Really, we were really shocked too. And it's funny too, because I actually, no, let me take that back. I did get sick. I got sick. Taylor's first baseball game, remember? I had got sick in September. And I couldn't figure out. I was like, wait, I was just bragging, all excited, like I ain't been sick in forever. So excited. And then my body shut down. And I caught this fever, and I was telling him, I was like, I'm not going to take anything. I was like, just give me some garlic. I was like, I'm going to wrap it, you know, around my foot. I'm going to put some socks on. I'm going to sleep, and I'm just going to allow it to do its thing. And I was like, I'm going to take hot showers when I feel like it, when I feel the need, and I'm going to rest. I was like, that's it. It's all I'm going to do. And it worked. And then within, I would say like 3 days, I was back to like, I was better. And I didn't really have an appetite. And I just was like, oh, my body needed a detox. My body really needed to just go through and detox, and it can do it on its own without all this medication that you think you need to put inside of it. And that's all the pharmaceutical company is so smart. They're like, yeah, all these advertisements, all these commercials, this is going to work. This is going to help you. And then they tell you, what's funny is as humans, we hear all the side effects that they say, right? Well, we don't want to take heed to that. Only thing we hear is all the things that the benefits is going to do. But is it really, really beneficial when all the side effects are all negative?
Right. And then when you think about it, so we had a show on obesity on the other show. We had a show on obesity, and we were talking about this too, because now they've classified obesity as a disease, right? Many times they say that it's hereditary, right? And then they give you these drugs now that are out there, these weight loss drugs that are out there now, and they have all these side effects. And I went on to one in particular, and I won't mention the drug, right? But I went on to one of their websites in particular. Everything is right there in plain sight on their website. All of the just really horrible side effects to the smaller ones, which to me is all horrible, if you ask me. But then you think about how the pharmaceutical industry works and the medical industry works is they give you this one drug, right? And you start to get the side effects, and then they give you another drug for the side effects that you're getting from the other one. And then you start to pile on all these different medications. Before you know it, you're taking 5 and 6 medications, and then they're tearing down your liver, your kidneys, you know what I mean? And it frustrates me. It frustrates me because I want people to wake up and really think about it. And listen, I'm not knocking the medical industry at all. Sometimes you need things and they have to do what they need to do. But at the same time, it's like, come on, wake up. You can't keep doing this to your body and expect it to really thrive and survive, right?
But cancer is a $1 billion industry. Okay.
Yeah.
And I say it like that because there are reports on, how it costs about $1 million a year for the medication. Okay. And when the patients can't come up with the money, they remove the medication, they die. Okay. So that medication wasn't even healing. It wasn't doing anything except for kind of life support.
Masking.
Right. Masking it. Okay. And so they've created a whole business around something that's killing us. And then, when I say this, I'm not trying to point anything, but it's just when you look at it, it is what it is. But then you see all of these industries with sugar and everything. Sugar feeds cancer.
Yes, it is.
And why is sugar in everything now? Okay, so it's almost like it's
set up that way.
Yes,
counterintuitive for it to work in their favor. It always works in their favor.
Yeah,
and so people would start waking up. And the thing is, we as the people, right? If we would take back the power, they would lose.
Come
If
on.
we would take back the power and just say, you know what, I'm not going to continue to buy or purchase those, those foods, right? Or those items. I'm not going to go ahead. I prefer a more holistic lifestyle. So that way I don't need the medication. If we would do that, they would, I don't know if they would ever go out of, out of business due to the fact that there's so many people out here that are just lazy. He was talking to a friend, telling a friend about like how he had changed his life. And, he was like, yeah, I know. He's like, the last time I was there visiting you, he's like, you don't drink, you don't smoke, like you'll do nothing. He was like, I know. And he was like, yeah, now I'm a vegan. He was like, what? And he was just explaining to him about the benefits and how well he's doing. And he was like, you know what, bro, the thing is, everything you're saying is right. And I know that, but I'm just too lazy.
He worked at a pharmacy in the military. That's how we met. Is he came through one of my courses, and he was a pharmacist in the military, and so he's not by any means unintelligent, right?
Right. He knows. He probably knows better than most.
Yeah, and when he told me, I looked all of this stuff up. He's like, yeah, but whatever. Yeah, who cares? And I'm like, but and Linnell, you said it exactly. People are lazy, right? I'm growing my own potatoes, my own vegetables right now in a room with 5-gallon tubs and totes, right? And I put soil in it, throw the seed in there, and I water it every day. Like we have the ability to hop out of all of this. But we're too lazy, and then we want to play victim when our bodies break down, when things aren't going the way it is. Like right now, my shoulder came out of the socket right before the show, and instead of taking Advil or something like that, what my wife found was ginger. You grate it up, and you throw it on there, and it burns a little bit, but it takes the inflammation out and takes the swelling out.
Wow.
So that's what I have on my shoulder right now is ginger.
Wow.
We don't have to go and subject ourselves to all of these things. And what's crazy is it's an ecosystem, and within that ecosystem, everything that we need to survive, to heal, is already present.
Yes.
We're just too lazy to go and get it. And the thing is, it's not even that hard. We make a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
Like starting this garden, you take a Saturday and get it all together, and then you're just watering it every day and making sure it gets to the proper light.
Yeah. And there's a company out there. So wait, I want to mention something else first. So there's a guy that I was listening to on Instagram, and he's into the holistic lifestyle as well. And he was saying if it wasn't in existence, and he didn't say made, he said in existence, right? You listen to the words, right? But he said if it wasn't in existence before 1920, it's probably not real. Right. Because he started talking about like all the different products that we have out there, and the fact that because in this country, right, they were more on the herbal side, pre 1920, and then the pharmaceutical industry came in. I wanted to mention something else because I met a woman years ago who was a pharmacologist. She worked for one of the big companies. She made one, and again, I'm not going to mention names, but she made one of the big drugs that was for cholesterol. And what she realized is as she was going through the process, she's like, this is killing people. Yeah. She then changed her life, became a food scientist and a nutritionist, and started giving people the things that would really heal them. Right. And that's what she does today. But she's like, I realized I'm killing people and I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Right.
To change it. And there's a company out there that I learned about from her that they do these things called tower gardens where you could grow your food right in your house.
Yeah. I told him about that too. Like, we should get that.
But we looked at some, and that's like if you have the money, because at least the ones I looked at were fairly higher priced, right? But I'm telling you, you can go to Walmart and was it number?
It's number 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3. I think it's 1, 2, 3,
and 5 plastic.
And
5 being the best. Number 5, and the totes that you use to store winter clothes, right? Those kind of totes are usually number 5 plastic. I think we paid like $10, $12 for that, right? And then you get whatever soil that you want to use, drill some holes in the bottom so you can drain out, and buy a shop light at Walmart for $10. Okay. And so I just did everything that these companies are making, and I did it for $40, maybe $50. Yeah, it's depending on how much soil. Yeah, 50.
The soil is like almost $40.
Yeah.
But outside of that, and then the seeds, whatever you want to plant, you know, boom. And you can do this in a small, I mean, those totes are what?
It's not even that big.
You know, you can do that anywhere. And then you buy an external light, and you don't even have to have it outside. So you can do this in an apartment. You can do this in a spare bedroom.
Yeah.
Like it really, and you don't have to pay the high prices. So if you are like me and you're cheap, you can go that route. Okay? And it works. Like I went to Lowe's and I got a 5-gallon plastic bucket. Did holes, right? I had a few potatoes that I'd already bought. Filled it up with soil, put the potatoes in there, watered it, let it sit. Next thing you know, it's flowering.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And you can do it anywhere in your house too.
Anyway, that's what we learned. We actually started watching YouTube videos. Of course, you know how it is. You get on YouTube, like, okay,
university.
Exactly. I learned more from YouTube than I did high school.
I know.
But he turned around and this guy said, I lived in an apartment and he was forming a holistic lifestyle, and that's what he did. And he was like, in my apartment, I was able to grow majority of my food I eat. Wow. And so we were like, wow, yeah, we could do this too. Like, we have no excuse. A lot of times as people, we make excuses up for why we don't want to do certain things, or why we, you know, and that's the biggest issue that we have.
It's the laziness that
it is,
right? It's the laziness.
You say, like, we've saved so much money on our grocery bill. Like, the amount of money that we were spending to purchase, you know, the food for us to eat that wasn't even good for our body. I mean, we would spend a good like $300-400 a week just for our groceries because of the kids and because of what we wanted, our little snacks. And we were like, no, we need to cut this. And once we started changing the way that we ate and what we purchased, we'll go to the farmer's market every Saturday. We'll walk away with food for a whole week, and it might cost us like $40. $40.
And you know, here's the thing I want to say on that real quick. Even with the farmer's market, you don't know what they're doing to that food.
Yeah.
You don't know if they're using pesticides. You don't know. So what I will say is this: the box stores, it is not organic. Is not organic. Okay. All it is they don't have to use certain
what is that?
Insecticides, right? That's all that is, right? And if you look it up, you can find that the FDA has wiggled their way in there. And organic used to mean that you put nothing on the food, right? It just grew naturally, and you pulled it out of the dirt and you washed it off and you sold it. That is not how it is anymore. So the only real way to know that your food is truly organic, it's truly coming from that soil, nothing that's foreign has gotten on it, is if you grow it yourself. Period. And so I really urge people to, like, you don't have to sell this. You don't have to start a farm, just a tote, man. And one seed will of some crops will last you 5 years worth of food.
Wow. So now we're going to take a quick commercial break. I had to get my charger. I'm going to be transparent about that too. My son didn't want to be on camera, but we got a flash of him. But I want to ask you, or tell the people after the commercial break, what type of things, because I know you mentioned potatoes, but just to get into it further, right? Because I'm just thinking about the mindset of people, right? And wanting the variety because they're so used to all of the things that are out there, even though half of it is not even real food, right? We're going to talk about that too. But talk about some of the things that you can grow that you've been doing right from the comforts of your own home, not expensive, good soil, you know it's organic, you know you're getting real food. So let's talk about that as soon as we come back from this commercial break.
Got it.
Okay. are back, everybody. So, if you missed the first part of the show, we are talking about living holistically. And Chad is talking about growing your food right in the comforts of your own home. So we're gonna get into this because I want to hear a lot more about this. You got me interested about the potatoes. One of the things that I always said that I would never give up is white potatoes. I love white
You know,
potatoes.
potatoes are his go-to. It's good for
They're
you.
not good, but they are good for you in their purest form, right?
Yes.
Yep. And you can eat the skin. That's another thing. Like you can eat every part
Yeah,
of
I
it.
eat the whole thing.
That's what I love about
Yeah.
when you can find a food that you can eat every part of it. Man, that's the best.
Yeah.
So
And
when
oh, I'm sorry. I was going to
no,
say
no, no.
growing it the way that you grow it makes the skin good for you, right? Because there's a lot of nutrients, vitamins and nutrients in the
Yes.
skin as well. But it's just because of what they put on the crops, as you mentioned earlier, is why we can't eat those things.
Right.
Right.
If they wouldn't, like I showed him a video, that's what kind of like intrigued us is when I saw this video of this guy wearing a whole outfit. It looked like he was, you know, in COVID-19 and about to go into like an ICU room, you know, full of people who had COVID. And only thing he was doing was he had this backpack on. And he was going up and down these fields and just spraying. And I'm thinking, I told Chad, I said,
That's the
what's
food.
crazy is that's what we eat. So if it's not contaminated, then why is he wearing that whole bodysuit
Right.
to protect him?
Right.
I was like, I mean, when I say he had the gloves, his like shoes, everything was covered. And I was like, see, that's what bothers me. And then I saw other videos of what they do to our chicken and how they inject it. My girlfriend told me that her and her family were going gluten and they went to Thanksgiving. Actually, this was 2 years ago. And her cousin had made a ham and she's like, well, I got to look at the ingredients because she has to check everything. And it had milk inside of the ham. And she was like, why would milk be inside of ham? So they couldn't eat it. And she was like, that's just weird for me. I said, I know that's the thing. It's no different than the pastor who called out chicken filet, right? He called out chicken filet for the chicken filet sandwich, 40 ingredients. What is there 40 ingredients in a chicken sandwich? It should be the chicken breast. It should be some seasoning, some flour, some grease, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's ridiculous.
Why is the flour bleached?
Why is flour bleached?
Right.
Right. Like, you know, at the end of the day, when ignorance is bliss, right? and when you want to stay ignorant and you don't want to look at what's really happening, cool, you know, but you're gonna pay the price ultimately. And we really are as a whole, especially in the West. The Western part of the world is suffering physically. You know, you talked about obesity as being a disease. I think that some of that can be passed down through your family genes, but to what extent? Okay. And then if you really remove all of the way that you're eating and you replace it with good, whole, like just good for you type foods, are you still going to be the same weight? Are you still going to have the same health? Or maybe you can be a little heavier, but be healthy, right? Like as long as you're healthy, as long as your body is where it needs to be, okay, and it's speaking to you in a positive tone instead of a negative one, then I think that you're doing things right. But that's
and I challenge that, and I do agree, right? Some things are passed down, but I challenge that because I think the majority of it, like I would say, a very high percentage is habits and not DNA.
Right.
100%.
I really believe that too. Like I was telling my kids a lot. I said when we were telling them, hey guys, we're cutting sugar out, so you're not going to see me buy the 5-pound bag of sugar any longer. No, I'm not making you lemonade anymore and iced tea. And they're like, what? And I'm like, oh, I mean, you can have iced tea, it's just not gonna have any sugar in it. And I'm like, maybe you want to try with some honey. Honey is natural, so you can try with honey. That's fine. And at first our kids were not happy with us, to be honest with you, they weren't. But at the same time, once I explained like what was actually happening to the foods that mommy was buying them, then they started to understand like, oh, well, this is longevity. You're thinking about my well-being. Like you love me enough to say no to certain things. Now, have we cut everything out for our kids? We haven't. For Thanksgiving, my daughter let me know she want the whole spread. Like, no, Dad can have his veganism all he wants to, but I want the turkey, I want the mac and cheese, I want the the cream corn, I want the cornbread. So yes, I went out and I made sure I got all the food for her. But Will I substitute? I do. I substitute certain things for her, and she
Mm-hmm.
knows that. You know, my son, he loved to eat Hot Pockets every single day before he went to school. I don't know what it was about the Hot Pockets, but he loved it. And I think because it kept him full, because he's getting up by 6 and having to be out the door by 7, and then and he didn't eat lunch until 11:40. So I think it just kept him full.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, mom." I was like, "Yeah, I'm not." He said, "You haven't bought me Hot Pockets in a while." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't plan on it either." I'm like, "I read the ingredients in the back and it's horrible." And he's like, "But mom, I really love Hot Pockets." And I'm like, "Okay, let me see what I could do." So I went out and I bought all natural bread flour. And then I was like, okay, how can I actually create Hot Pockets for him? So I did. This is like a form of the bread that I make.
Oh, wow.
Like in the stores, you'll see it's called naan bread or
Yeah.
like a Turkish bread. I
Yeah.
love naan bread.
Yeah.
So I decided to look up the recipe, and I went ahead and just got the flour and yeast, and I just put the water in there because he doesn't like the milk.
Mm-hmm.
So I just said, okay, I let it sit for an hour, and then I kneaded, and then that's it. I just decided to create my own Hot Pocket. I put, slices of ham or turkey in there for the kids, some cheese, and I tried, if I can do the plant-based cheese, and then you fold it over and you just cook it. And then my son is picky again, so he was like, "Yeah, what about the honey butter? Because I like the honey butter biscuits you buy." Child. So I had like, okay, how I'm gonna do this. Oh, ding, ding, ding. All right, let me get butter. Just melt some butter, throw some all natural organic honey in it, stir it around, pour that on top. Boy, I put it in a little jar like this
She
to keep
dips
it
with her
and
bread.
I just dip it, and then
And
that's
it gives
it.
you that sweet that you
Feel like
we
you
were
crave.
craving. Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you kind of scratch the itch, it goes away.
It does.
And you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Because I used to be a chocolate chip fan. Like I used to feel like I needed a chocolate chip cookie like every day. I'm not gonna lie. And and thank God that I have such a consistent husband. Thank you. And so he's like, that's like not a need, because I'm always reminding them, like, is that a need? That's not a need. And so they throw it in my face, like, is that a need? I'm like, for me, it is. And now that I've actually got away from sugar and I've enjoyed honey, I was a coffee head, and I stopped actually drinking coffee before he did. I just was like, if I can't have coffee with cream and sugar the way I like it, I just don't want to drink it at all. And so it's been, for me, it's almost a year. I haven't drank coffee, and it bothered me at first. It did, because he was still drinking coffee, but now I'm good. I just drink vanilla chai tea. Just black vanilla chai tea. I throw some honey in there, and that's it. And it works out well for us. We like it,
Yeah, no, this is I'm telling you, you talked about before the break, like what can you grow and what can you do? Pretty much anything. And the I think when you taste like this bread that she makes, I love bread. She makes this bread, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better than this expensive. And what you spent $5 on a big thing of flour, okay? And you can make loaves of bread with that, right? It just, when you really,
and I know what's inside of it.
Right.
I know how it's made. I know that it hasn't fallen on the floor and up, I know that there's no extra ingredients in it that's not supposed to be there. I know my children are eating it healthy. That's a blessing to me. My kids love it. They've eaten, I've made biscuits, I've made bread. I have made, like I said, this naan bread. I just was like, you know what? I can do this. If I step back into, like the 1920s, 1930s, at least I know that my children will live forever and they'll be healthy and they won't have any diseases. That's the goal, right? They won't have any extra issues if it helps my children who do have, I have 2 boys that have autism, and our daughter had a stroke. If it helps them, it kind of brings some cells back into their body. If it helps them with their, their memory, if it helps with any of the things that they may have lost because of what I was giving to them, right? That wasn't good for their body. I'm willing to do. I'm willing to try.
Yeah. And there's and I think we talked about this last time too, right? There's some studies, particularly in New Jersey, I know because I'm from there, but they did studies on just the environment and the rate of autism in the state.
Yes.
Right. And how that affects the kids that actually have autism, how that affected them, like the birth of these kids. And I'm like, when you think about that, right? And they know these things too. That's the bigger problem, that they know these things. So you're allowing these things to happen and then allowing this to happen to our children, right? It's so frustrating. It's so
It
frustrating.
is. It really is.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be like political or anything like that when I say what I'm about to say, but if we think that the government, okay, and I used to work for these jokers, okay, so you know, I would have gave my whole life for them, so I really believed I was behind all of that, but when you take a step back and you really look, they're not in our best interest. The FDA is not in our best interest. When other countries are banning the same foods that we're eating, okay, and then you talked about autism, but even like cancer, and it's happening at an earlier age, more consistently. Why? Well, when you look at the foods that we're giving most of the young people, these are the same foods that are being banned in other countries. Why? Why? And so when you really think about that and you look into it, oatmeal is not the same in UK as it is here.
They have 7 ingredients in the UK oatmeal, and we have, I think, over 25.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same name, same company name, same brand, whatever, different ingredients, because that country is not even okay. As much as we might not agree with how Putin runs his country, he encourages all of his people to grow their own food.
He will pay you. He'll pay for the land. This is what he just did. So he decided to put it out there. He will pay for the land if you will grow your own crops and your own food. And he made it where if he finds out that you actually put chemicals on the food, that he calls you a terrorist and he locks you up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just did that. So like I said, I don't agree with the way that he runs his country or tries to come into our country. But I will say high five to the man for that one, because
hey, listen to this, right? When it comes to, okay, I want to preserve my people. However, you choose to run your country, but I want to preserve my people.
Right.
Because I want longevity in this country.
Yes.
So that we can continue to take power for whatever his reason is.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Like, I want to preserve my people.
Yeah.
Right. So that we can continue to do.
Ding, ding, ding. I wish I had something too. That is positive. I love
it. You mentioned earlier how it's really frustrating. But here's the thing. If we could all get on the same page, like, and I think Linnell, you said it too. The thing is like, this is for anything. If we didn't like high gas prices, what happens if we as a collective say no?
Right.
Yeah.
Then they have to do what we're asking to be done. Yeah. And if more and more people get on board through our lives and see the benefits of growing their own food, how easy it really is. Like, don't believe these big box stores, and it's all about money to them. Yes. It's not about your health. It's not about saving you anything. Right. Okay. The best thing that you can do for you is to take your own control, right? Or the control back in your own life and start growing your own food, start living a healthy life. And you'll actually see, I think, mental health will get better. Like all of these things that we're struggling with as a people will begin to translate to I think a win in the overall, right? Because we're not putting these things in our bodies that weigh us down. And I'm telling you, even my mental health has gotten better. I struggled after the military. I think I don't know if we talked about that last time or not, but I was really struggling, and I started eating cleaner. I started really focusing on the internal and what I was putting in, and it changed the way I was thinking. It really, the quality of even my thoughts has increased. And so I just encourage whoever's listening, even if you're on the fence, man, just jump out there. Just whatever your favorite crops are, just grow those. That's all I do. I grow my spinach because I like spinach. I grow lettuce and onions and asparagus. I don't know why I like asparagus, but I love it. Right?
Cucumbers,
Brussels sprouts, cabbage. And that, and I just let it be, in a lot of garlic, and I just let it be.
So I have a question for you on that. How long, because right, we're talking about people's impatience too, right? When it comes to things like this and trying to do what's convenient versus doing what's better for you. How long would you say it takes to grow crops that are going to give you, say, a week's worth of meals?
So I'll say this: if you want to grow the full crop, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So like potatoes is like a 6 week, 8 week grow time, I think, until
Okay.
maturity. Right now, if you can pull them early, but they'll be small potatoes.
Yeah.
Okay. It won't be like large, scrumptious potatoes. But what I will tell you, here's a hack for all the people is you can do microgreens. Okay. Microgreens, you just do a tray. I also grow those as well. So you're not growing for depth, you're not growing for a full crop,
Right.
and you put the soil down on these little trays, and you don't even plant the seed, you just sprinkle the seed on top. Okay. And then you water, you make sure it's water. I like to put water on the bottom than the soil, so that way the root has to fight to get the water.
Yeah.
And it makes it strong. But however you do it, you make sure that it's moist. You put it in like basically darkness, okay, for about 3 days, okay. And usually I take another tray and just put it on top. All right, it'll sprout. Pull the top off and hit it with some water, and maybe 6 more days.
I'd say yeah, it's like
Right of hitting it with light after that, and you have what they call microgreens. Now here's the thing: they are 70% more nutritious full grown crop.
Wow.
So less time, okay, and it's more healthy for you, and they fill you up a lot more, I think, right?
Wow.
Because all of the nutrients is right here. It's in this stem, right? Basically, and you just harvest it by cutting it off, wash it off, and eat it.
And mushrooms, that's another thing. He loves mushrooms. Mushrooms became his protein. So that's where he got his meat from is mushrooms. I did find another, because for me, I'm not a big mushroom lover. So I tried it. He sauteed it for me. He's made me these beautiful sandwiches. They look really pretty, right? But and tasting them wasn't that bad, but I'm just not a mushroom lover. So I was just like, no, thank you. I need to find another way. But the benefits of mushroom, depending on which one you get, is like out of this world.
Yeah.
So for me, I just went and got this like lion's mane. It's diluted mushrooms, right? I bought this from Amazon, and it's probably hard to see. But it's, that's all it is. It's lion's mane, and it helps me with focus and attention, and gives me energy. And I just take 2 drops underneath my tongue, hold it for a good 2 seconds, and then swallow it. That's it.
Nice.
And it works. And that helps.
We have the whole mushroom coffee out too now. Have you seen that?
I was about to say, like, I do.
Nice.
So I got the mushroom coffee, but for me, once again, I tried it, right? Thinking that, okay, let me see if there's some, flavor to this. And it's still not that great. It's not. And it's just because I'm not a mushroom lover. And so I bought it just so I could go ahead and have it and try it and see. It's not my thing. I will gift it to somebody and allow them to enjoy it.
Right.
But we've we were talking before the show, and we've also adjusted. Even like we make our own laundry detergent now. We make our own toothpaste. We make our own cough medicine, cough syrup. Everything's natural.
So I bought this little pretty jar here, right? It's real pretty rose gold on top. And only thing it is just a 1/4 cup of baking soda. It is 1 cup of coconut oil. And then I use peppermint. So I throw like, a 4-ounce bottle of peppermint in there, and I just stir it around, let it sit. It becomes nice and creamy, just like toothpaste. Okay. And then this lasts just a good, like, over like a month.
And you want to talk about saving money? Not only are you really putting the right things in your body, on your body, okay, brushing your teeth the right way. You want to talk about saving money? We hear a lot of people talking about how financially strapped they are, but yet we go out and we buy Tide, we go out and buy Colgate, whatever, and these are really marked up really high. And not only is it not good for our skin, and we can't even pronounce half the things that are in it, okay, but this is not only good for you, but it's cheap. right? I think we told you we spend about $5 or $6 to make a big 5-gallon bucket of laundry detergent.
And the only thing it is 3 cups of baking soda. It's 3 cups of the Arm & Hammer super wash. Super wash soda. It's 3 cups of borax. And then a bar of the Zote. I think it's called Zote. You can get it at, Target or Walmart, but it's just 1 bar grated up. You mix that in, you add the water, you're done. And it lasts, we did it. It lasts us a month and a half. We just went as a family of 6, and we have a load in the laundry. I want to say every single day, if not 2, because we're washing something. And we have 5 dogs. And so something's always
washing something.
Something's always getting washed in this house. And it just 1 cup, and that was it. It lasted us that long. I was so grateful. And then I just changed our medicines. I was taking Benadryl every day because I'm actually allergic to the dog hair. I know I got 5 dogs. Crazy. But it's okay. I love my family. And so I started taking this thing called Golden Seal, which is actually a plant. And it's in the buttercup family. So I started taking Golden Seal, and it's really helped me and my son. My son has allergies also, and I didn't take it before, of course, coming on here. I normally take it around 7 o'clock, and I didn't take it really quick. So that's why my eyes are watering. But still, I just noticed a big difference. I haven't taken Benadryl in I want to say 2 months now. 2 months now. And I was not addicted, but I definitely was consistent with taking Benadryl, and I was consistent with taking some type of Zyrtec or Claritin every single morning, and then Benadryl at night to help me fall asleep. And I just stopped. I stopped all of it, and I just started taking Golden. That's it.
This stuff works.
And
man.
my son, he had a headache, and I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's take some feverfew, which is another plant, and magnesium. He took it. His headache was gone within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was it.
I hate that we have to end the show. You guys got to come back because there's too much. You just have too much. And listen, I want to say this too, because you guys just mentioned this too. Not only are they helping you live healthier, they're helping you save money. So
Amen.
This is a win-win. This is a win-win right here. And Danelle has looked up all of it and started making everything. And Chad is growing the food. So they are doing some amazing things. You guys are gonna have to hold me accountable. I'm gonna have to get better. I need to do some things now and I'm always looking at it. I'm always, doing my best about being responsible about products, but still, even what's good out there, I'm gonna put the quotes up, right? But even what's good out there, still has something in it, right? And you got to go searching. You got to really go searching. And if it is actually good for you, it's super expensive, right?
Yes.
So we have to end the show, but oh my God, you guys got to come back because you're blowing my mind. You are blowing my mind.
We have so much more. I can talk about parasites in your body, how to get rid of it.
Oh my God. Yeah, we got to talk. We got to talk about these things.
Pumpkin seed. Just eat pumpkin seed.
I love it.
You start seeing it come out.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Everybody out there, listen, you got to connect with these two, first of all.
Thank you.
If you need relationship advice or you need to learn how to live healthy, they got you covered. So I love you guys. I thank you so much for being here, especially on the eve of Thanksgiving, because I know you guys got a lot to do to prepare for your family. So I really appreciate that you came on tonight to help people. Everybody out there, if you're not implementing these tips for Thanksgiving, start the day after, right? I know you're making food for your family and everybody's going to indulge a little bit, but the very next day, start to change some things so that your family and you can live a healthier lifestyle. We appreciate you all out there, and we're going to say goodbye for now. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Thank you,
guys.
Bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.